So, since last time I ranked the 3D Mario games from worst to best in my opinion, I now am going to talk about what I want in a Super Mario Odyssey 2 or in the next 3D Mario game, whenever that will release, because again, like I keep saying, Nintendo, it looks like they won't release another game until the end of time, it seems like. So let's just get started. First things first, I want to talk about the length of the game. Now, going through the games, all of the games have had a pretty consistent amount of time, like Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1, and Galaxy 2 all pretty much had 120 stars, except Mario Galaxy 1 had 121 stars. There was an extra star because you had to beat the game again as Luigi, and in Galaxy 2, there's the green stars, but technically it's still the same as Galaxy 1. 3D World and 3D Land are 8 worlds technically. I'm talking about the main game. And Mario Odyssey is the longest game with 999 moons. A lot of them which you buy, but still. So I would say that in an Odyssey 2 or a new game altogether, I would say keep it simple. Maybe like 500, because 999 moons was kind of pushing it. Like it felt at a lot of times it was too much. There was just filler moons. Like some moons were just out in the open, no thought at all. So in my opinion, 500 moons or 500 stars, whatever you collect in the game, is what should be acquired to beat the game. So and as far as like actual time length, I would say the mainline story should be about maybe 6-7 hours, and then to beat the whole game, it's about 25 to 30. Because like I said, I want the moons to have thought into it. I want them to be good. I want them to actually try with them, not just put them out in the open like a lot of the moons were in Odyssey. So that's what I want for length. Next, as far as boss fights and overall enemies go, make the game more difficult. I've been wanting this for years and years from Nintendo. They need to have difficulty settings in their games. They should have an easy, normal, hard mode, because a lot of the times the games do feel too simple. And of course I get that it's for 10+-year-olds, but still, difficulty settings will make everyone happy. If you want the game to be a relatively easy experience, you put easy or normal. If you want a balanced experience, put normal. And if you want more of a challenge, of course you put hard or more difficult or more of a challenge. Because overall, the bosses and enemies overall in the 3D Mario games are not great. They're pretty easy. Like the Brutals in Mario Odyssey were pretty weak. They were not interesting at all, pretty much. They were the same. They should have different variety of bosses. Like the bosses in Galaxy 1 and 2 were great. I liked the bosses in that game, because of the variety they had. In Odyssey, they really only had the Brutals and Bowser. There should be more than just Bowser. So, and also make the Bowser fights different. Don't make them the same. Odyssey, they were the same. 3D Land and World, they were the same. Galaxy 1 and 2 were for the most part the same. Sunshine, it was the same. Or no, not the same, sorry. It was just one Bowser fight. That was actually the most unique one, because you had the rocket and you boost up and then jump on the platforms. And 64, all you did was spin him. That's all you did, spin him into bombs. So they should have more variety. Just more variety and more difficulty is what I would want in the next 3D Mario game. As far as the levels go, keep what they had in Odyssey, where you don't get kicked out of a level after you get a moon. Like in Odyssey, they stopped doing that, which is great. I liked that. I think it made a lot of sense because it was pretty annoying in the 3D Mario games how whenever you collected something, bam, out of the world, you have to re-enter it and do everything over again. With the level design, I would want it to be, again, more like Odyssey, open world. There's multiple moons to collect. It can be more linear, but I do prefer overall the open world aspect of the Mario games as far as 3D, like how 64 and Sunshine were, because it overall just made my experience a lot better. I know a lot of people like the sandbox open world style of games, and overall it looks like open world games are becoming more and more a thing or relevant overall to video games as a whole as far as story games go. So overall, yeah, the levels have the length of them like Odyssey, where there's like, again, 45 to 50 moons to collect. It will be a little bit less because, again, I would say 500 moons is the max there should be to collect in total throughout the game. Next is the characters. For the characters, I would say that I would want it to be like 3D World, where you have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and maybe even Rosalina to be playable, and maybe even other characters too, like Daisy, Wario, Waluigi. Now I know I'm 99.9% sure that they're not going to have all of those characters in the game, but at least the base 4 from 3D World. It's nice to have variety in the games now, because, you know, Odyssey, we only had Mario, Sunshine, 64, Mario. It was really only the 3D Land, 3D World, and the Galaxy games where there were different playable characters. And Galaxy was only Luigi, and that's because Galaxy 1 you just played through the whole game again as him, and Galaxy 2 he was just there. A lot of people probably didn't even know where he was because he was hidden a lot of the times in the levels. So yeah, overall I think that they should have 3D World as the character selection screen at least. And again, I would wish for more, because it's about time that we have variety in the 3D Mario games. We've had like 8 of them now, and it's time that they change up the formula instead of just Mario or Luigi. Last thing I want to talk about is power-ups, and for power-ups I would want to say I would want to balance with them in the sense that there should be power-ups in the levels like sprinkled around in there, and some power-ups there should be bosses where the power-ups are beneficial to Mario, and there should be new power-ups in the game as well. Again, they should keep trying to innovate, because the power-ups were pretty cool in the 3D Mario game. You know, the bee Mario mushroom, the cloud flower, items like that is what made me like 3D Mario games a lot, especially with the Galaxy games. When I first played it, I liked the power-ups a lot in that game. And again, also I think also it would make sense to have, like, there should be a flying power-up in the game, in the sense that this game, if it was to be open world or sandbox, it should have a flying power-up. And I mean a flying power-up, not a gliding power-up, of actual flying power-up. And, you know, like Elden Ring, you can use a horse and stuff like that. I think the next big 3D Mario game should be open world like Super Mario Odyssey. And if they want to do a more linear game again, like 3D Land or 3D World, or even like Galaxies, or even like the Galaxies, then I think they should still have power-ups and utilize them throughout the levels to make the levels unique, make the stars unique. Again, because if there are going to be 500, then Nintendo needs to be on their best efforts with the new game. And there you guys have it. That is pretty much going to do it for what I believe should be in the next big 3D Mario game, whether it's a Mario Odyssey sequel or something completely different. Let me know in the comment section below what you would want from a new 3D Mario game, whether it's a Odyssey 2 or something like completely different. I would say it's kind of a 50-50 because I feel like by now it is kind of late to have like an Odyssey 2 compared to having something new altogether. I'm sure Nintendo is working on something. They probably have something in the background they're working on alongside with the movie and stuff, but we're just gonna have to see for the time being. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support on the videos, likes, comments, all that great stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. See you guys.